it was very rare. It's very rare that I go home and like make drinks.
So follow-up question to that. How often do your friends and family outsource the project of making cocktails at holiday events
to
God. Yo ass?
Because
is it like as many times as I get, can I have some free weed
Yep.
in the DMs? Okay.
Yeah, I think my least favorite thing ever is going on vacation from work and having to make cocktails for an event or like, family party or gathering or whatever. They're like, Steven's just going to make cocktails. And I love it. I genuinely really, really enjoy making cocktails. I think it's great. I love making cocktails for people. And I love that people want me to make cocktails for them and trust me to do it. But it's that same thing of like, this is what we do for work. So
yeah, people are like, oh, let's go out for dinner. We'll have some cocktails. Oh, we can do cocktails here before we go. Steve will make it.
Yeah. I'm like, how about we open a bottle of wine?
There we go.
That sounds great.
Let it breathe for 10 minutes while
Yeah.
I get off my goddamn
And I'll give you a
feet.
house pour. You get 8 ounces.
Okay, third follow-up question. When you're on a vacation or that rare chance that you're not at the office, aka behind the bar, are you snooty when you're like, this tastes like dirt when you go to someone else's bar? Like, just give me a vodka or whiskey on the rocks.
Oh my God, I
standard
totally can be. It all depends on like expectation and where I'm going. The
price of the cocktail, if I'm paying $23, it better not suck kind of vibe?
I mean, it depends too. Also, it's like it's their cocktail, right? And it's how they wanted it to come out and how they wanted guests to have it. And if I have a different expectation of that cocktail, I need to understand what their expectation was when making the drink. It's not necessarily a bad cocktail.
You're not going to Yelp a 1.
Oh, fuck no, never. I don't use Yelp. I don't use Yelp.
Do not use Yelp. I can't hammer that point home enough. Fuck Yelp.
And I hate to say that. A lot of the people that work for Yelp are really, really great. I think it's
a paycheck, but I'm not going
to encouraged a really bad.
Everyone's Anthony Bourdain now.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass, Denise. You had our Danielle who lit into Pony Up the other day, or the person that lit into Occidental the other day.
Yep.
And then just like disparaging comments about the staff while they're behind a keyboard. I fucking hate Yelpers.
Well, and the worst part is
Cowards.
too is most of those things that come up, they don't address while they're in the bar or in the restaurant.
Right?
If you tell us, hey, I don't like where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Great. Let's try to move you
Easy.
wherever we can. We will bend over backwards to put you where we can. We'll move tables. We'll move other people around. Hey, I spilled my cocktail. Okay, that's understandable. We'll try to get you a new one, but you're going to spend. If you spill a vintage cocktail here, well, who's going to pay for that spirit? Is it my responsibility that you spilled your cocktail and I need to give you another free cocktail because of that? Like. Fuck no, where does that work, Can you, are you able to go to a buffet and try a bite? I don't like that. Try a bite from something else. I don't like that. I'm not going to get anything. I'm out of here. Or order a gigantic meal from someplace and take 4 bites, 5 bites and be like, oh, I don't really like this. Can I have something else? Like, what other industry can you do that? That's crazy. Do you get to start to smoke a joint and be like, oh, this isn't really for
There's
me.
A lot of stems in here.
I'm going to put this out. Can I have a new one? That doesn't work.
Oh boy, if I could have done that back in the day.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our drug dealers back in the day were like, there are no refunds. In fact, you still owe me for the last one.
Yes.
How often do you have someone that's like, because, oftentimes there are words I can't even, pronounce.
Yeah.
But cocktails that maybe are all foreign to somebody.
Yeah.
How often are they like, this isn't for me? And can we get that exchange? Like if someone comes in, they're like, fuck, I thought this was something else.
Yeah.
It's easy if you're not a prick, right?
Yes and no. It happens sometimes,
Okay.
And it is all about the guest and that kind of interaction. We're here to take care of people. I'm here to make sure you get the best version of whatever cocktail you want and you enjoy the hell out of your time here. Both cocktails, experience, people around you, music, whatever that is. So
I'm not going to give you just free
you
samples of everything.
Yeah.
That's what the
but,
buffet made me think. I was like, I wonder how often people do try to return drinks.
It happens, and we recently put it on the menu that it's basically like if you lick it, it's yours. Like you've committed to this. If you don't understand something,
my
that's
dog
on the
has
menu,
that same policy.
Yeah, exactly. He probably pees on it. It's like, this is mine. I'm
That's what I do.
Yeah. So that's the idea, right? Is that if you don't know what's in it or the type of ingredients or how it drinks, we hope that this is a welcoming enough environment and that we do our jobs well enough to make you feel comfortable to be able to ask about that or talk to us about what kind of cocktail this is or how it drinks, or that we are able to give you a recommendation knowing what you're going to like and not like. That way you're going to get a cocktail and you're not going to be like, this isn't for me. You're going to be like, holy shit, I never knew this was for me.
Yeah, I like where that mindset comes in. Like, let me blow your fucking mind.
And I think that's what makes the best experience at a cocktail bar is, like, being around educated people, like whether it's the staff or whatever like that. If they can tell you what the flavors are like, you can easily decide whether or not you're going to like it.
True.
I like that's a good point. And I mean, y'all both are kind of coming from that, like give us the opportunity to blow your mind, industries, and restaurateurs.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the restaurant, but I don't think we gave it a seamless plug. For those that want to maybe find the bar hours, find the location, find y'all on social, let's do a quick plug so that they can, is all that information about y'all?
Yeah, thank you. If you Google Run for the Roses, we should come up, but any of our social or our website we shortened it, so it's rftrbar.com. RFTR Bar is on Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media you're on. I don't think that
y'all do TikTok? Because if y'all did TikTok you made cocktails, you'd probably go pretty fucking
I know. What's crazy is we're actually not on it because solely due to me not being on it. Because I have no idea how to use it, what it looks like, and that's just one other aspect of the business that we have room to grow into and room to expand and hopefully do really well. But we've never, I've never been of the school of like doing things to do them. I think we do things and try to do them as well as we can.
It's methodically planned.
And I don't think I can do a great job at TikTok, so we don't fuck with it. But I actually, in the last 2 weeks, like 10 people have been like, I found you guys on TikTok. I'm like, shit.
Somebody else.
We're missing out. We're missing out on getting so many more people in here.
Denver Food Scene and a couple of other ones, they do those, little reels of videos, and it's like, this looks like a really cool bar.
Yeah.
And then the younger demographics, the recently of drinking age and those that probably aren't but try to sneak in your bar anyway, are definitely on that app. And so we've tried to also kind of break into that scene.
Okay.
Turns out the community guidelines on TikTok are even more stringent than Instagram. So anytime I post videos or posts about cannabis or stoned eating, it gets pulled for community guidelines.
That's wild.
So we are very limited in not only our reach, but also the capabilities of what we want to promote and how we can promote them.
That's so wild.
So, but y'all have a great industry, so I think y'all should do it. But
which is
food for
crazy because at one point our industry was in the same place as cannabis industry,
right?
And
maybe one day we can all join again for a smoke and a drink.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be a day?
Yeah.
There's places in if there's any place to start that, it would probably be Denver. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but with the two running parallel right now in Denver, it's not a far leap to have those be together.
Oh, if we make that section a smoking section?
Like
no cigarettes.
We were talking about buffets earlier. I remember when Piccadilly back in the day was half smoking and half not.
Yeah.
And our family would be damned if we weren't in that smoking section.
Yeah. Question, smoking, non-smoking.
That was the very first one, right? Would you prefer smoking or non?
And it's like, oh, sweet. So I'm separated by 2 or 3 seats from a smoker. My meal's going to be great.
Yeah, a lot of the times it wasn't even necessarily the section you were in. It was just like who was working.
And now there's kids out there who are 21 that were born in 2000.
Yeah.
And that's wild.
I don't even want to think. I mean, when I think about movies that I watched growing up, and I'm like, oh, that came out 40-something years ago. I'm like, fuck. I'm not even that old. It's like Top Gun. 86, 35 years old.
Yep.
I mean, I still get a wreck thinking about the second one. Shout out to Tom Cruise. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But
I wish that he would make a second Cocktail movie. If you've never seen Cocktail,
that
the movie,
would be awesome.
Oh my gosh. Elizabeth Shue has not aged as gracefully as Tom Cruise.
That's Scientology church.
Maybe you could throw Jennifer Aniston into her position.
Now you can think ahead there, Chris. What is just some like old degenerate drunk on a beach, and it's like his illegitimate son shows up, and he's like, "I heard you make the best drinks in the land." Do you want to get? I know some screenwriters. We can get working on this, Stephen. Maybe
Go to the Bahamas,
expensive
shoot on
trip.
set.
I'll be the cocktail consultant on
Turks
it.
and Caicos is
Yeah.
nice this time. of
That's
year.
true.
That's not true. It's hurricane season. Shout out to hurricane whatever. We're on like letter G already. Climate change.
Oh man.
All right, so this next section, as we've I'll mentioned Kip's phallus twice and Tom Cruise once. This is a great time for us to segue into the personal questions for Stephen. Usually we ask these about food.
I like that. That's the segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise does it every time. So this segue section, we're going to ask you. We always ask about food, but we're going to kind of pick your brain about some other folks that may be doing great work in the cocktail industry as well. I think the first one would be, I know you're not going to ever have the opportunity, but is there a happy hour out there that you covet or would love to attend if you had one, a day off?
Like
to attend a happy hour in town, would there be one that you like or a bar you would like to hit up for it?
I mean, bars, absolutely. I always love going. I love Noble Riot. I think their wine program and their service is
Troy kills
so
it over there,
great.
doesn't
It's
he?
amazing. Like what they've done there is incredible. I love the folks at Tavernetta and Sunday Vinyl. So I go to Sunday Vinyl when I can. For food, any of Dana Rodriguez's place, Super Mega Bien, Working Class.
Her episode drops after yours. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Ask
a
her
week
about
after you.
the new place she's doing. So she's going to do a new cantina. That's, I'm sure, going to be incredible. It's Mexico City inspired.
Hell yeah! Chris is a Mexico City fan, so that sounds
Huge
Yeah.
Mexico City fan. If
glad
anybody's,
you
if
brought
you've
that
been
nugget.
there, you're a huge Mexico
Yeah,
City fan.
I agree.
But you are right. Loco's restaurants absolutely slay. The fusion of the Super Mega BN between the dim sum and the Mexican
Yeah.
vibe, and then Working Class with all those red meats that just come out in dog pails. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, feed me,
Yeah, I
baby.
love that shit.
It's so goddamn.
Yeah.
And the sides are creative, and that's a great call.
Yeah,
And
I
you-
think she's so talented.
You mentioned Noble Riot, and for those out there, you should check out their Instagram because Saber Saturdays are fucking
really?
great. I want to get out. I want to be up there one time when he sabers.
I mean, and they did it with a wine glass recently. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if do y'all do wine and champagne here, or is it strictly mixology?
So actually, pre-COVID, one of the saddest things for me about COVID, besides all the other bullshit, is that we actually sold all of our wine during COVID because it was such a small portion of our business before. But we had a 73 bottle wine list, and
Oh, wow.
over a third of those were half bottles. So we spent a ton of time really curating a unique, approachable wine list that was, started at $18-19 all the way up to $1,000.
What's a $1,000 bottle of wine we're talking? Is this one of those ones in the
I mean,
Mercedes?
that's like a 3-liter Veuve Clicquot,
Uh,
like champagne, big old
1999
party
Race
time.
Brut.
Like, yeah, that was like we had everything from half bottles, 375s, all the way up to 3 liters.
Okay.
Everything in between, a ton of,
I'll
liter
be
and a
back after we
half,
sign our big
magnums, things like
contracts.
that.
We're
Done.
buying it.
Done.
Okay, here's a real personal question: fuck, marry, kill.
Oh shit.
Agave, bourbon, gin.
Man,
That's a good question, Chris. That's a really good question.
I think people are going to hate me for this.
It's all right. People hate you anyway.
That's true. Fuck gin, marry agave, kill bourbon.
Okay.
Which
Whoa,
few years
really?
ago, that would not have been
Gin
the
would have been
case.
Getting out of there.
I don't think so. I've
No, you
always
gotta
really
fuck with
liked
gin.
I just don't like
but
gin as much
I
as
didn't
the other two,
have
sure.
an appreciation for agave like I should have until the last few years. And I think things that tend to get super popular that people just get because it's popular and they don't know anything about it, they don't bother learning anything about it, I tend to shy away from. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with
Okay.
bourbon. I love bourbon. I have always drank bourbon. Like a couple years ago, if you would ask me, like, what's your go-to drink if you're at just your regular neighborhood bar? I'm like, I'm
just
going to
asked
do
you that,
a
Cole.
beer and a shot of bourbon. A shot of Jim Beam was my go-to forever. And I love Jim Beam. I think it's great.
Man,
I think you're either
I
in the
think
Jack
bad experiences.
You're either in the Jack
Oh.
Daniels or the Jim Beam family.
I was a Beam guy growing up because you could get the plastic bottles and take them to football games when
Yeah.
you're in high school and college. But man, after a couple of those nights, the next days, I was just like, I'm done. And now I'm over
Yeah.
both of them.
I had
We're
those
going to
nights with
nicer,
Black
like,
Velvet.
Weller.
There you go.
You know, Evan Williams Green Label.
Yeah.
The good old days of vomit.
Oh God,
They still
charcoal
make that.
filtered.
They still make that. You know, I think there's so much bourbon out there. There's really, really, really fantastic products. There's a lot of people who are just buying it, relabeling it, and it's all the same shit. I think that's my problem with